Romans, countrymen, and boomers. Hear me for my cause and be silent because I am here to talk about Gen Z in your head. Hi, my name is Ethan, and I'm your host. And for this episode, we are joined by Stella. Stella is a uni student from UCID, and she's also a sales representative. She was able to move out at the age of 20.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
So Stella, at the age of 20, was it 20?
20, yeah.
Yeah, at the age of 20, she moved out of her house.
I did.
Imagine that. When did you realize that you want to move out of your parents' house?
So I guess it's kind of like every teenager's dream to be able to live with no other adults around, I guess. But I think the main driver was my living situation. So I was living originally in the Hills area, and my parents purchased a property about an hour west, so up close to the Blue Mountains. And I attend uni in the city, in Sydney, and I had just gotten a job working in the city as well. So it was a bit of a trek if I was to stay at my parents' house. So I was living with friends, and they were planning to move out as well from their home, and I guess it kind of just stemmed from there. And then we planned and made it all happen.
But was the process really hard? Can you please run us through all the things and responsibilities that you had to consider before moving out?
Yeah, so I come from a very big family, so I guess one of the main factors I had to consider was saving up enough money to be able to support myself in this transition to living outside of my family home, and as well as location. I live with 3 roommates as well, so we all have to consider different locations where we worked and studied as well, because we don't all study at the same uni. There's the issue of furniture and appliances, and then there's just so many things to consider when you're moving out, especially in Sydney.
Yeah, because apparently Sydney is one of the most expensive cities to live in the world. Yes. I am kind of surprised with how much I have to pay for things. Mm-hmm. Like here, when you pay for rent, it's weekly, but normally in other countries you pay monthly.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah, so I think I don't mind paying a weekly rent, especially getting paid from my job. It's usually either weekly or fortnightly, so I can kind of control my finances more on a more of a micro level, like week to week basis, rather than a monthly or quarterly time frame.
Basically, you have more of an idea of how much money you still have and how much money you have to allot for rent.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm definitely living more week to week rather than month to month.
That's okay. I mean, have you improved at least your finances and like how you handle money now that you moved out?
Yes, definitely. I think my drive to move out and be able to support myself fully without being an extra financial burden on my family, on my parents as well, really forced me to be really strict with my spending prior to actually moving. So I was able to really save a lot up and be able to be comfortable moving out with what I had.
So you're saying that you're more responsible now?
Definitely. And then once I moved out, I make sure I pay rent in advance, especially during times, I guess, like lockdown and not being able to work as much. Rent doesn't stop during these times either.
Look at you. You're supporting yourself. You just mentioned that you were supporting yourself.
Yeah.
And so you're paying in advance. But if you don't mind me asking, are you earning enough money for your current job to pay the bills? Like, disregard the COVID pay that we are getting, like even before COVID, do you reckon you're earning enough money to support yourself, or is it kind of
no, if COVID payments weren't a thing, I definitely don't think I would be, especially being a full-time uni student and completing my honours year this year as well. It's a very full-on schedule, and work hours that I actually have available are also very limited. So I'm feeling a bit spread thin. So it is really hard to actually ensure I'm working enough hours to sustain and support myself.
Yeah, okay.
So I guess it's the pre-saving that has really helped me.
On your previous job, you've been working so much, and you said that you saved up a lot because you really had your eyes on moving out. Like that was your end goal. Like you really wanted to move.
Exactly. So yeah, I was working almost 7 days a week.
Wow.
And towards the end of 2020, I was working 3 jobs and doing back-to-back shifts at different jobs, traveling between the hills and the city to do this.
That's queen behavior. Look at you.
Thank you.
3 jobs and working 7 days and during a pandemic.
Yeah. I guess you can
them.
look at it with the kind of work overload I was doing. I really see it as a blessing because without it, I wouldn't be where I am at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that you seized it because you worked it, you took the shifts, and you were able to move out. You're successful. Can I ask you something about your housemates? So, how old are your housemates?
So I'm 21 now, and I have twin roommates, and they just turned 19 this year. So they were only 18 when we moved out, so which was a bit of a
Gen Z represent the freedom.
But really do, when you come down to it, age is just a number. It really is based on life experiences and maturity. And then my other roommate, so that's 2 of them, my third roommate, she's 20. So she's only a year younger than me.
All of them are supporting themselves.
Yes.
Right? Do you think you made the right decision to move out at your age while you're still at uni?
I think I made the right decision for myself. I guess everything in terms of moving out and what age to do it and such is really subjective and really just depends on your situation and what you physically can take on as well. But I definitely think it was the right decision for me because the amount of time I would spend traveling if I was to live back home and my parents just probably would cost me more, not necessarily in like monetary wise, but I think would take more of a toll on being able to juggle my uni work, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that you learned so many new things on your own while you were supporting yourself when you moved out.
Yeah.
That's what we want here.
Yeah.
We want development and success.
Definitely.
Okay, so can you give our listeners some tips on what they can do before they move out?
Okay. What you can do before you move out. Find people that you are comfortable sharing and communicating with. I think that is one of the number one things. They say that you've made a mistake within the first couple of weeks of living together. And then financially, I was saving a huge chunk of my paycheck every week and putting that into an account where I could not touch. And high interest earning accounts really, really help because you're getting that extra money each month if you are using it correctly and not taking money out of it.
All right, so that's it, everyone. Thank you so much, Stella, for your time once again. And I just like to remind everyone that she's part of the same generation as me. She's Gen Z, and look at how accomplished she is, and look at how mature she brought herself. Yeah, so Gen Z is not all lazy and apathetic and useless and soft. Like, we have a lot of people like her. I'm really glad that we heard your story, and thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. It was great sharing about it. And yes, the stigma around Gen Z is absolutely
yeah.
Okay, I think we're onto something here. This interview just simply proves that whatever people think Gen Z is completely false. Number 1, Gen Z is lazy. Completely not true, because look at Stella. She worked almost 7 days in 3 different jobs. Like, look at that. I would be exhausted to work 2 jobs. She worked 3. Second of all, Gen Z is undisciplined. Stella had her eyes on the prize and she worked so hard so she can save enough money so she can support herself and move out. Not to mention she even has a savings account that she doesn't touch at all. She just puts money in there just to save up. And she also pays rent in advance. Like, I think normal adults don't even pay rent on time. She pays in advance. And number 3, Gen Z is apathetic. Boy, oh boy, the reason why she wanted to move out was because, apart from convenience, because she works in the city and studies in the city, she didn't want to be a financial burden to her parents. Look at that. Is that apathy? I don't think that is. That's concern and love. Okay, this is really great. Now we're going to be talking about people who want to move out, but just simply can't. We are going to hear why she couldn't move out. This has been Gen Z in Your Head. My name is Ethan, and thank you so much for tuning in.